Poštovani gledalci, Srpska televizija Toronto želi vam prijatan dan. STVT se zahvaljuje na podršci vas gledalaca širom Kanade, što je dokaz da je sve više onih koji prate srpski mozaik na kanalu Omni 1. U današnjoj emisiji vidjet ćete nekoliko priloga od događaja u Torontu i okolini, ali svakako poseta Kanadi njihovog kraljevskog visočanstva, princeze Katarine i prestolonaslednika Aleksandra II je glavna tema današnje polučasovne emisije. Za STVT Blagoje Ristić, producent TV programa. Kao što smo i u prošloj emisiji najavili, glavna tema i današnje emisije je poseta njihovog kraljevskog visočanstva, princeze Katarine i prestolonaslednika Aleksandra II srpskoj zajednici u Ontariju. Poseta Kanadi je trajala samo 2 dana, ali u samo 2 dana održano je niz kontakata sa lekarima i nekoliko stručnih institucija. Zatim gala večer u Granit klubu u Torontu 13. oktobra i sutradan nakon molitve u crkvi Svetog Đorđa bio je svečani ručak u banket holu u Waterloo. Uz pomoć LifeLine, koji ima svoja 4 ogranka po svetu, u Londonu, Atini, Americi i Kanadi, sa sedištem u Torontu, doprinijeli su da se koliko je bilo moguće ublaži potreba za opremom, ali nažalost, rak se u Srbiji razvija galopirajućim tempom, ne štedeći čak ni malu decu. Cilj ove akcije je upravo taj da se obezbede sredstva, da se pomogne najmanjima i pitamo se da li je ovakvim akcijama ima kraja. Na čelu LifeLine-a je princeza Katarina, dok odbor u Kanadi predvodi gospođa Branka Gulan, a članovi su izvršni direktor Đudi Đorđević, sekretar Milena Protić, blagajnik Dragana Vujasinović-Hartog, direktor za donacije Đuka Gartner, direktor za opremu je Kati Jerić, dok direktor za mlade je Lauren Gulan. Dodatne informacije možete pronaći na websajtu LifeLine-a www.lifeline-canada.org ili preko telefona koji vidite na ekranu. A sada pogledajte intervjue sa njihovim kraljevskim visočanstvom, prestolonaslednikom Aleksandrom II i princezom Katarinom, koji su za STVT uradili novinar Glasa Amerike Branko Mikasinović i vlasnica Toronto Novosti Ksenija Vukčević.
Your Highness, recently you hosted a reception in New York in honor of the new United Nations President of the General Assembly, Mr. Vuk Jeremić. How important was his election and what does it mean for Serbia?
It's very positive from Serbia. He is an extremely intelligent and capable young man. My wife and I met him at Cambridge University. And then, of course, he went to Kennedy School of Government, where we had a conference there after the conferences I led in the 1999 and 2000. He is extremely knowledgeable, and also I think he's very capable. I witnessed him talking to the previous president of the Assembly, and I was extremely happy the way they're related and a lot of the agreements. I watched his speech, and it was extremely well delivered and tactful.
Very good. Do you think he could help Serbia attract foreign investments simply by being where he is?
Well, we've spoken about this, and we're going to work on a few projects and how to bring foreign investors. But also, he has to take care of all the countries who are members, and we're talking about many countries. So he's there to help everyone, but I know he has a soft spot for Serbia.
Good. Now, a different topic. Recently, the remains of Prince Paul, his wife, and his son were transferred from Switzerland to the Royal Church in Oprenats. What was the significance of this act for the royal family and for Serbia?
Well, it was extremely significant. It was a very emotional moment. But if you think about it, last year he was no longer an enemy of the state. What happened in 1941 was a tragedy. His theory was that we should be a neutral country, Yugoslavia then. It didn't work out. What happened was amazing, that he delayed, actually, the Operation Barbarossa, that was the invasion by the Nazi Germans of Russia, the Soviet Union at the time, so that had a marked effect. But he lived in exile. He was very homesick. I would visit him in Paris very often. Great conversation, and his wife was also very sweet to me. But him coming back with his wife, Princess Olga, and their son, Prince Nicholas, who was killed in a car crash in 1952 near Windsor Castle, was extremely significant and a rallying point for the whole of Serbia and for my family. The state gave full honors. President was amazing, President Nikolic, and of course President Dacic. And I warmly thank them for their respect and the unity that was provided.
What are your expectations here in the United States and in Canada in terms of your visit and your achievements?
Yes, LifeLine has been an extremely good charity based in the United States as a 501c3, fully registered in Canada, in Greece, and of course the United Kingdom. And it's been active, and we need to make more effort in drawing training for our doctors abroad. Our doctors are getting equipment, and more will come in, but then how do you operate this equipment? How do you do diagnosis and learn the latest techniques? And this is where we have some very keen young doctors who are like sponges, and they're like absorbing this. But to do this, we need a lot of effort. I'm glad to say now with the new administration's Ministry of Health, we are moving fast forward in trying to do this. I think there's a lot that can be done on the PR side in promoting Serbia and in getting visitors to come. I'd like to bring more high visible personalities to Serbia, and I did have a chance to talk about this with Prime Minister Ivica Dacic, to try and bring people to show that it's perfectly normal to be a tourist in Serbia, to ski in Kopaonik for 2 or 3 days, and go and visit humanitarian things, and also visit the industries, the businesses. And we would be very much on the map. And there are many personalities that we could do a great PR and show that we are good domaćin.
Thank you.
Your Highness, I am humbled to have the honor to ask you a few questions regarding this gala evening. So, Your Highness, can you tell us please something about your humanitarian organization LifeLine and your goals with the organization?
Well, I'm very privileged to be in a position to help the people of our country. My husband, when we met, he told me about his love for Serbia and that his wish one day to go home. At the time, he had never been to Serbia. And he said, if we ever go back, I like for you to love my country the way I and my family have loved it. And to love our boys as much as he does as well. So when we came, even before we came to Serbia, we always spoke about Serbia. And then when the conflict started, we were very concerned. We came to Serbia, as you know, in 1991. That was our first trip there. And that's when I began to see what are the humanitarian needs. Of course, since the conflict went on for so long, the humanitarian needs grew more and more each day. And eventually, I started by having offices, starting the first office in 1993 in Chicago, in New York, in Toronto, in London, in Athens, and eventually when God was with us in Belgrade, because God willing, that was our wish and our prayer to God to eventually bring us home. So when we came home, I became the official coordinator for the health of the country, appointed by the Ministry of Health. Of course, that didn't change very much for me, because I was already looking after the people in Serbia, very involved with our hospitals, our doctors, as well as the orphans, the refugees, and many areas that there wasn't such a thing as an area of interest. It was a matter of survival for our people. I was in Bosnia. I took care of everyone there. I used to have a brochure says, we take aid, not sides, because for me, there is no borders in suffering. So I feel very privileged to have the opportunity to change the life to a better life for our people, and to help our heroic doctors and nurses who have been really in a very difficult position. When I came to Serbia, 1/3 of the medical equipment did not work. 1/3 was over 30 years old, and only 1/3 was working. And those days, back 11 years ago, in some places they were still even washing the plastic gloves and hanging them. So I knew that there was a lot of work ahead. And we've been doing a lot of charity events similar to the one this evening that LifeLine Humanitarian Organization, its wonderful team, is doing in order to help the children and the people in Serbia. And we had another one in New York yesterday for lunch at Le Cirque, and we had nearly 200 people who came, and that was for children for special needs in Serbia. The one here in Toronto is for cancer. We had the highest incidence of cancer in the entire Europe. My foundation, thanks to a friend in New York who donated $500,000, and then were able to put together another $200,000. We bought a mobile unit for $700,000, which was digital mammography. And it was donated to the hospital in Niš, and it's been going to all the villages. And up to this moment, it has examined more than 45,000 women. The problem is that we didn't have enough radiologists in our country to read them. So I sent them to New York, to Sloan Kettering in New York. And at the moment, I've sent another team to MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. So we are helping the women bring awareness. We bought many more mammography machines, and we have been able to create a program for cancer. The Ministry of Health works with me very well. We have a new minister who used to be a Speaker of our House, and she's wonderful. And together with the state secretaries, we are creating a program for cancer. We need a lot of help. We need a lot of help. We have had a lot of promises from people abroad, and which were never fulfilled. So the people of Serbia are looking to our Serbian people in the diaspora for help, for support. And also, I have been doing a lot of conferences in Serbia. We have one in next year in May, 16 to 18 of May, and we're looking for Serbian physicians and their colleagues to come to help us. 10 days ago, we had a conference for oncology in Serbia, in Belgrade. We had more than 300 oncology doctors throughout the country. And Sloan Kettering from New York came with 7 doctors to help us, and it was an amazing conference. My partners in this conference is the Minister of Health, the head of WHO, World Health Organization, as well as of the Dean of Medical School. So I've been very lucky to have enjoyed a lot of support in our country as far as whatever is needed. The people are there, the doors are open, and they're always welcoming. My problem is that I would like to help everyone. I feel like the mother in our country. I feel that all these needs that the country has surround me. And I'm really very appreciative when people can come and help. Well, it is a question where how do you choose a priority, which you cannot, because everything is very important. we've had a situation where we had the highest mortality of newborns because after all these 10 years of conflict, the women didn't want to have any children during the conflict, and they started childbearing at a later age, and losing the 10 years of childbearing for a woman is a lot. And so the majority could not carry them to the 9 months. And we had so many premature babies without enough incubators. I remember at some stage, I called our friends in Greece because I was born there. And I said to my friends, have you ever been to dinner with an incubator? They said, no. I said, well, this dinner is to save lives. And of course, each incubator is 10,000 euros. And so we raised more than 1 million euros that night. And we brought incubators for Kragujevac, Niš, Novi Sad, and Belgrade. And then I took upon myself 40 more hospitals. I went to France, I brought Djokovic with me, I brought a lot of people with me, and the neonatal intensive care is in much better position. We had several hundred incubators that we managed to get, and that's much better. And of course the cancer has been something that's bothered me a lot. At the moment I'm very worried about heart. We haven't been able to do a heart transplant for more than 11 years now. And we need, every one of our profession needs a lot of help. And I'm putting together doctors and we're sending them abroad. At the moment I'm sending them to Houston, Texas. And the idea is to be able to bring some of the Canadian doctors to our homeland and help. It's very important that our doctors in our country know that